Buckle up and let your freak flag fly because it's time for the new moon in Aquarius 2022. So if you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Michelle Shea Walker. I'm an intuitive coach, a writer, and creator living in Los Angeles, California, and I am here to give you a new moon reading for the new moon in Aquarius using 3 different card decks, 2 of which will appear on the general reading that is for Instagram and YouTube followers, and then the longer version of this video, the extended version, will appear over on my Patreon, patreon.com/Michelle Shea, at the monthly mystic level or higher. So for $11, you access not only the extended readings for every month of the new and full moon, you also get free access to my full moon live tarot reading events where you get to ask your own questions and I answer them with the cards, and you get weekly pick a card readings and monthly tarot scopes as well, because those are what happen at the lower level. So patreon.com/Michelle Shea is where all the action's happening if you like additional card readings. And if you're ready to dive in, I am too. We're gonna start with the Total Betty Goddess deck, which is the deck of my creation. It is a deck of 90s icons that are representing the goddesses because I like to have goddesses that I can relate to. So we'll shuffle up and just find our goddess for the new moon in Aquarius. So just a little divine feminine guidance to kind of catch into what kind of energy we can expect. And our goddess of the moment is, we have 3, the Furies, played by the women of the First Wives Club. And this is a card that's come up a couple times. This actually was one of the reveals on my Patreon for the most recent pick a card. So the Furies are speaking loud. And essentially what they're telling us is that we have a community around something we're trying to accomplish. And much like the movie The First Wives Club, when you band together, you have more strength, you have more power. However, I like to think of this Furies card more as what the First Wives Club ends up being at the end, which is not about getting revenge on their ex-husbands, but instead about establishing a women's shelter for those in need. So if you can take your community that you've developed and use it for good rather than evil, that's always a better option. So I recommend that you really take stock of who your community is and what they can do for you. Sometimes community doesn't necessarily have to be that you're a group that has literally formed a club or band together for an official cause. It can just be your friend circle, your network, your online network of people that you can actually reach out to help you move things along. Maybe it's people that have connections that are gonna help you. Maybe it's people that can offer funding. So really stay open to that during this new moon. And Aquarius is all about innovations. So there are definitely some ideas that are brewing right now that are new and different and might need support and funding, and just people that are going to get out the loudspeakers so that the rest of the world knows about what you're doing. And you have to be willing to reach out to that network. You have to be willing to recognize that these people are around you so that you can utilize them to your advantage. So with that, we're going to move into our other oracle cards, this time from the Fuzzy Prism Oracle. And for these general readings, I generally do the 1 goddess card and then 3 of these oracle cards. So we're going to shuffle up the deck and do a little past, present, future energy in regards to the new moon. And then after that, I will move on to multiple 10 to 13 to 15 cards over on the Patreon to really clarify this energy. So this is just a little preview, and we have through in our past, balance in our present, and awareness in our future. So we've come through some stuff, which is an understatement, right? For the past several years, we've been going through some stuff. But I feel like on a personal level, recently, if you're watching this video, you've come through something on an intimate level with yourself. This is definitely getting feels of like, yes, the world is going through things, but there was some sort of personal battle that you've been battling. Maybe it was a battle with your own mental health. Maybe it was a battle with some family issues. Maybe it was a cleansing of some ancestral patterns, but you really felt in the thick of it in the past couple months. And something has kind of broken through because in the present of this Aquarius new moon, we've found balance. So I feel like there's been some routines and tasks and systems put into place while you were going through something that have really helped you come into balance. And it may be something that until this moment you didn't realize how much you've come into balance or how much you've made a shift. It may be something that was kind of subtle over time, that you develop these routines and you let them trickle into your daily life, and it's just created a little more stability and a little more clarity for you. It wasn't like that thing where you like woke up one day and everything was good and everything was different. This was definitely something that happened slowly over time, which also means that it's going to be more sustainable and you're going to be more able to keep those systems in place because they were something that you developed over time. And the longer that you can develop a habit, they say 21 days is the minimum that you need to develop a new habit. That's gonna really make it something that you can stick to. So congratulations for that, and really appreciate this feeling of balance under this Aquarius new moon, because we are gonna be brought into an energy of awareness. So the energy of awareness, I'm getting big psychic vibes from this. So there's definitely this feeling of not only being aware of yourself and your place in the world, but also being aware of sort of like a grander scheme within the universe. You're gonna really be thankful that you put those systems in place to deal with whatever darkness you were going through, because whenever you do have an intuitive awakening, it does become a little bit unsettling. So you're gonna wanna reach for those routines as you start to bring this information in. I highly recommend, if part of your routine for balance isn't a meditation practice, that you try to incorporate that. And it can be traditional meditation, or it could be like a walking meditation. A really powerful thing to do would be just a writing meditation, where you do morning pages every morning and just scroll out what's in your mind and get it out of your head and onto the page, because that's going to help you come into that place of awareness, so that you kind of know not only what's going on within your head, but you start to get a little sense of the divine wisdom that's trying to come through to you. And I think this is also really calling out to, again, recognizing that you've come through something and you've kind of done it on your own. But with our Furies card in place, we are definitely seeing that there are resources available for you. So whether you're dealing with something on a grander scale, where you're trying to like innovate a new project or launch a business, or if you're doing something on a smaller scale where you're just kind of coming through your emotions and trying to learn how to balance those, in both of those cases, there is a community that can help you. There are online message boards, there are support hotlines, there are, reach out, look for those resources. It's so easy to do a simple Google search these days and find an entire network of people that have gone through the same thing that you have and that can help to advise you. If you are having troubles with addiction, getting into an anonymous program is really helpful. So there's a community out there, is what I'm saying. So be sure to reach out to that community, especially if you're dealing with something that has to do with mental health or addiction. So if this topic is resonating with you, I do think that this is probably going to be a twofold tarot reading in the extended version. We are going to be talking about the personal struggles that I'm discussing here, but those are also going to apply to the larger business connections that I also mentioned. So regardless of which side of the coin you fall on, I encourage you to continue on with the extended reading over at patreon.com/Michelle Shea. And if you are watching this on the Patreon, the rest of your reading starts right now.